Hello, welcome back to an example for the Warveil campaign. So basically, it's a free to play print and play game system that uses poker cards. So it's a skirmish game at its base. So you take minis from any era that you have. And basically you can play around with them. So at its core, I could take Vikings versus Star Wars minis versus Warhammer minis, and you can play with that. And within that skirmish game, I made an open world campaign mode. So basically, what you need to play that mode, you'll need to print the terrain cards. So these are used for the maps. You'll need to print the AI unit cards. So basically, the AI will activate the enemies and basically will control that. The campaign is set during the Crusaders in 1187 year, where Baldwin was facing off against Saladin. So everything is inspired by that. You'll need, of course, the map. So basically, you can travel around that map, go wherever you want to go, no problem. You'll need, of course, the Warveil campaign rules. So with that, I'll explain a bit the tests, the travel, and everything. So it's very interesting. It uses blackjack tests, inspired mechanic. You can do whatever you want. In every city, there's different interactions. So basically, your goal will be to build up your warband, equip them with better equipment, train them with gold. You can recruit new units. You can gamble. There's a survival aspect also. You have to manage your food. You can go wherever you want. There are 43 different contracts. So you take contracts by succeeding contracts or doing battles, you'll gain gold. They're all fail forward, branching path narratives. So basically, you'll have decision to make based if you succeed the battle or not. It will unlock a different path for you. And when you're ready, basically, you can take on the main campaign, which is 9 different storybooks. You can take part, you can join the Templars or the Saracens, etc. So you can do whatever you want, and how you will end up at the end. Will you end up the king, or will you end up pirate, slave on a pirate ship? Will depend on your successes and everything. There's also a wanted mechanic, so you can steal from merchants. There's all that mechanic that you can apply as well. So it's a truly open world. So of course the Warveil campaign book will serve for that. You'll have the custom warbands, you'll need that. Basically this will carry all the equipments, all the stats for the melee weapons, for the the missile weapons, everything, and you'll have all the abilities that are available to you based on your equipment. You'll need also to print the Warband campaign sheet. So on this, you keep track of the assets. So, you can buy farms, market, which will give you passive income, etc. You can really manage everything there. So you build your units. Each player will have a sheet like that, and that will to keep track of the battalion's progression. So basically, how it works is you do a travel sequence. You get in a fight, you do the fight, and then the session pretty much ends, and then you continue your session. So you can play for months and months. There's, like I said, there's 43 different contracts. For this is the campaign book, so 126, like I said, 43 contract, 9 different stories, everything fail forward and a branching path narrative. And basically, so you could play for months and months for that game. It's completely free to play. So basically, with all of that, you're ready to go. So of course, the rules. But I mean, so the campaign book, this I recommend to keep on a tablet because it's 126 pages. And basically you have the custom warbands, the rule book, the AI units, the terrain cards, and the warband campaign sheet, and the map. So you're all good to go. You'll need a 2x2 map. Well, everything in Warveil is a 2x2 map. By the way, it's the same campaign as for Warfall. It's the exact same thing. It's just the Warveil is much faster in the sense that you play just cards from the top of your deck. It's simpler than Warfall and faster, so it's a different feeling. Warfall, you need to manage your hand of cards, decide. So there's more planning aspect. With Warveil, you draw and play the top cards of your deck. You have actions to arrange the order and everything, but it's more exciting and faster because of the structure of the game. So you can play in either the Warfall or the Warveil based on whichever style you prefer. I recommend these. I took at the dollar store. It's the tiles that you can stick on a wall. So basically, these are great, very cheap, and they look great, and they're perfect size. So for 1 inch by 1 inch tiles, and basically that's a great background. Of course, you'll need a deck for you. So if you play the campaign, you can play against the AI. So you can play 1 or 2 players against the AI, or you can play against a human player. If you play 2 players, each player will need his own deck. If you play 1 versus the AI will have 1 deck. If you play 2 players versus the AI or versus a human, he will have 2 poker card deck. It's better if they have different backs and you shuffle them together to make one AI deck for this. So the first step is to create your character. So to create your character here, there are two different builds. So I did the quick build. So you can take a shooter, heavy melee, a mystic, or a priest, and then you continue, you choose your captain, and you go there. So these come with all the stats already equipped. I chose the physique, or you can custom make your own units. So if you play solo, you'll have to do 2 units. If you play 2 players, it's 1 unit each. So in all cases, you start with 2 units. And the custom build, basically, you choose your unit's physique. So Harden, for example, is worth 2 points. He starts with attack 1, defense 0, move 1, initiative 1, wits 2, and toughness 8. So he's very slow character, but tough. Then you choose the origin, if he has access to mystic or fate powers or not. And then you choose its mental aptitude, so will influence his wits and basically his other stats. So you can custom make that. And then you choose a captain, and the captain has access to 2 abilities that you can choose. The abilities are here in the command ability. So the captain has access to the command ability, so you can choose 2 for free. And basically, the cool part about the game is the AI will adjust based on your points value. So at the start, each unit is worth 7 points, and basically as I gain better gear or anything like that, so I'll add, and the point value for my units will increase, and so will the AI difficulty. So if you're in a bad spot, you don't have a lot of gold, or whatever, you have a tough time, well, the AI will adjust to your rank to give you a chance to recover, basically. Also, so you start with 15 food and 10 gold. So of course the gold lets you buy new equipment, train your units. So with that you get the progression, and the food is the management for the for the unit. So if you badly manage, you could have it's going to be tougher for the fights. And then you choose your captain's background, so you can be a bandit. So if you steal, you get a +2 gold, or you can be a survivalist or a traveler. And then each player takes his deck, and we can choose where the battalion enters. So basically, you allocate minis to represent your units, and the captain will be used. The captain's mini will use to move around the map. So of course this is made during the Crusader era. So of course I have my Saracen mini. So let's say this is my captain. So basically the first step is well, you choose where you enter, so you can enter in any free space here. So for example, I could do that. And then you have to manage your food and your gold. So when you travel, you have to spend 1 food. And when you spend 1 food, basically, you can advance up to 3 spaces. And if you encounter one location with an icon, so for example, if I were to move on the forest, so I stop at that point immediately, and then I go to the forest interaction. And so for example here, the forest interaction is here. So for the forest, I look here, and then you choose one player to draw the top card of his deck, and basically you see that's a black 4, and basically you go here with the black 4, and the event is abandoned hut. You find a lone hut that seems abandoned, you may enter. If you do draw a card, 1 to 4 is a sickness, you remove a card. 5 to 10 is 5 food, and a figure is 5 food and 5 gold. So let's say I'll take the chance. So I reveal, that's a 1. So basically I have to remove a card, which means I take the highest card from my deck and remove it, which will be the jokers. So I'll remove 1 joker, and this will not be available for my next fight. So at the end of the next fight, I'll recover all my cards. I could spend gold to rest and recover some cards that have been removed. But for now, for example, for this, I was a bit unlucky. And once you resolve the event, then you can interact in the forest. So in the forest, you can hunt. You do a 5 difficulty initiative test. If you succeed, you gain 10 food. You could forage. You discard the top card of your deck. You receive its value divided by 2, rounded down. Or you could gather wild mushrooms. So you're allowed 1 interactions for the forest and 2 interactions in the city. And for example, to do a test, how it works is you choose a player. So for example, let's say we want to hunt here. So it's a 5 difficulty initiative test. So basically, I'll choose one of my units. So let's say my unit has 2 initiative value, and it's a 5 difficulty test. So 5 minus 2 means it's a 3 difficulty test, and 3 difficulty test is a hard test. So for a hard test, how it goes is you play against the AI. So the AI for a hard test will take his 2 top cards, flip them and keep the highest. This is based on the blackjack rule, so he would keep the 10. So the figures are worth 10, the ace is 1 or 11, exactly like the blackjack. Then he plays the other card face down. And then from the top of my deck, of course, I never discard my cards. I keep my discard pile intact. So if I have jokers in them, and of course I won't see them for the start of the battle, of my next battle. So now I flip cards until I decide to stop. So 4, 7, 11, 16. So do I continue drawing or not? So let's say I'll draw one more. Oh, 26. So I busted. He would have had 16. So in the case of a tie, I would redo it. But here I would have failed. So I wouldn't have gathered any gold. So any food, I mean, for the forest. So now it's ended. So now a new day starts. So now I would be at 13 food because I need to spend another one. And then I travel. So let's say I travel to Damascus. So since I arrive in the city, I stop, and then I draw an event. So here it's a black 13. So for the black 13 in the city would be a drunken fool. So you encounter a drunken fool waving around his 10 gold to show everyone how rich he is. You may knock him out and take his money. If you do, receive 10 gold and a wanted token. So let's say I'll do it. So the wanted tokens, if you encounter a patrol, you can bribe them, but if you can't, you have to do a test. If you fail the test, you're sent to prison, and you have a chance to escape prison. If you don't, it's game over. So the patrol, as long as you're lucky with the patrol, you can pretty much avoid them, or if you have enough gold to bribe them. But of course, if I have 3 or 4 wanted tokens, if I want to bribe them, it's going to cost me 30 or 40 gold, and the test will be higher. So you have to be careful with that. And once I'm at the city, Damascus, so I go to the Damascus interaction city here, and basically I can do 2 different interactions. So you see I could gamble, train, rent a coach, go to the medic, buy food, recruit, bet on arena fights, explore, roll again. I mean, draw a card on the event table again. The events is about half are good, half are bad. So you could be lucky for that. Could buy a market, 40 gold. It gives me 5 gold at the end of every turn, at the end of every battle. And I could start a Damascus contract. So I have the cartel stash, deliver a message. So let's say I'll do deliver a message. So a ragged looking man is looking for someone to deliver a message in exchange for money. So then let's say we start this mission. So we go to contract number 3. So we go here, and contract number 3 is here. And basically deliver a message. You meet what seems to be a sailor. You need to, will be paid 10 gold if the letter is delivered to Ramaza. Then you have your decisions and everything to do. And you'll have to travel to some other place. And once you get there, there should be a fight. If you succeed the fight, basically you can choose your difficulty prior to the fights. So how it works is here for the Warveil campaign. So it will say, okay, let's say set up the warehouse battle map. So for the fights, so basically you set up, you do this. So you do you use the the provided terrain cards, and basically you reproduce the map here. And on the maps, you'll have numbers. Usually units are placed randomly with different facing and everything, because there's unaware mechanics. There's also in the missions, there's dungeon explore where you go from room to room, randomly generated. There are maps like here where the threats, you don't know if they're units or traps or things like that. You have a unique trap mechanic where if you draw a line of sight on the trap by doing an action other than peeking, and so you roll, and basically if you have 1 to 4, it's a trap. And I have here the traps that you place on the unit depending. So there's all these mechanics. So you have to be mindful of the traps. All enemies starts in random locations. You will have different objective, maybe eliminate somebody or reach the room, the door here, open it, things like that. So there's a lot of different type of missions. Infiltration missions where the enemies are unaware, battle missions where the enemy starts aware. You have escape missions, you have assassinate mission, you have boss fights. So there's all kinds of, based on your decision in the story. So basically, once the contract is done, you'll also, before I forget, when you set up the battles, the enemies are always random. So you take the set of here, and the number of enemies draw will depend on your points total for your warband. So if you have 22 points of enemy worth for your warband, well, you'll draw randomly until we reveal 25 points of enemies, and basically these will be the enemies. So the enemies start in different facing, different enemies every time. So you can replay the same mission twice, which won't happen because you're allowed to do the contract only once. But I mean, every encounter will be fully randomized. The enemies, the positioning, everything like so. So you can have a different experience every time. And the setup is really simple. Like I say, you just reproduce this on this tile, on this table. So you place the terrain here and there. And then at the end of the battle, depending on the difficulty you choose, if you chose a standard difficulty, you receive 10 gold. And if you chose easy, you receive 5. And if you chose hard, you receive 15 gold. So that you decide at the start of the battle. You have also secondary objectives. If you can achieve other objectives, you'll gain extra gold on top of it. If you play against a human, he'll have access to all the AI. He can anticipate, he can use the positioning and everything. So the battle against a human are from base challenging, so tougher. And so if you win against a human player, you automatically gain 15 gold. So that's the system where a player is trying to prevent you from succeeding, or you can play against the AI. So like I say, you can play for months and months, and it's completely free to download on itch. Please let me know your comments below. I'm always looking to improve the game. Let me know how the mechanics work, how everything works. But it's up so far. All the playtests I've done, people have enjoyed really much the system, and very tactical and very exciting because of the draw the top cards of the deck. So please let me know, and we'll go from there.